Yeah, hi, it's David Gill from the Booze Brothers here, and I'm with Mike Brown from Gemtree Vineyards at McLaren Vale. What a wonderful piece of heaven you've got here.
It is amazing, David. Well, when I first started making wine off this site in '98, I used to wonder whether the trees and the surroundings had any impact on the wines we were making. It took me the first vintage to realise that they do have a very big impact. The eucalypts in this area, on the actual leaves, there's an oil, and this vineyard in particular has an amazingly minty characteristic that comes through.
What's grown in this vineyard?
Shiraz, and one of our big components for uncut Shiraz comes off this site, and it has an amazingly lifted, minty character, which I particularly like.
And tell us a bit about biodynamics. I mean, the howling at the moon stuff.
Nudity.
Yep. What does it mean to your wines, and what does it mean to this area that we're standing in?
Essentially, with us, biodynamics is about healthier soil. We're using compost. We're wanting to build the organic matter in the soil up, because your plant, all your nutrients and everything essential to growing your plant is coming from the soil. It's starting lower. You're actually building the nutrient level, the humus level, the organic matter level of the actual soil to make your plant healthier. Therefore, your flavours are going to be higher. So we do go in with the lunar cycle. We put 500 manure compost on, concentrate. We spray the 501, which are two things we do on the calendar. The critical things I've seen, right, have been the increase in earthworm activity, right? Worms, as you know, within your garden and, growing tomatoes or anything. If you've got worms, you've got a healthy soil. I haven't seen worms in these vineyards until we started going biodynamics. We've started seeing earthworm activity, which is a fantastic sign you've got healthy soil. Healthy soil, healthy plant, healthy grapes, healthy wine. The thing about biodynamics is not encouraging increased yields, it's just encouraging better quality.
And you're happy to keep this through?
Yep, and this will be, yep, and it'll get slashed, and basically that'll go under vine. But I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to actually come into the vineyard less.
Yeah.
Less tractors, less, minimal inputs,
yep.
That sort of thing, because all it's doing is soil compaction, right? You don't really want that.
Yeah.
Yep, these guys are a bit stressed here because of the trees.
Yeah.
Right, but 15 years old and you're getting, we're getting our two top-end wines off here.
Yeah.
I want wines that have more texture and more flavour, and I think that's the thing with biodynamics, why we're working around that as well, because we don't need sugar to get flavour. That's the thing, and I think whereas Australia has been a little bit guilty of this, it's just generic winemaking, and the big thing about biodynamics is throwing the kit bag out the window, right, and you're making wine from the heart, and your vineyards have to be healthy.
Yeah.
Racking wines and filtering wines and all that sort of stuff, I'm not doing that anymore. I've always been a minimum filtration man, but the biodynamics thing is now forcing me even further into that.